in part 1 and later in sports, Jamaica breaks medal record at CARIFTA Games. I'm Anthony Lugg. Here are the details. Police and soldiers were kept busy this morning due to an ongoing series of protests by residents of Denham Town in West Kingston. As Jamila Maitland reports, the demonstrators took their frustration to the gates of the Jamaica Defense Forces Upper Camp location.
Now, residents of Denham Town have moved the protest from outside the community to at the gates of the Jamaica Defense Force here at Upper Camp. The residents are demanding justice following the fatal shooting of Orain Glen on Saturday. Now, the residents say the already strained police relationship has gotten worse following the shooting.
Because them not serve and protect you, you know. I beat them thing there, you know. That me I tell you. I said them I deal with the people and boy and said them I zozo them serve and protect. We glad for police and soldier there because less things go on, but them not do the right thing with them for do.
Experts are this afternoon weighing in on the root causes of violence in schools. Since the physical reopening of some schools, there have been a series of student violence in the institutions, fueling concerns from education stakeholders. So, what are the key reasons for these violent incidents? In this first of a two-part feature, our reporter Sandy Williams explores the issue.
Following the March 7 full resumption of face-to-face classes, several schools were met with a brutal reopening. Some evidence circulated on social media. In March, one student was fatally stabbed at William Knibb High School in Trelawney. Then just days later at the Petersfield High School in Westmoreland, a physical altercation left one student hospitalized.
There has been violence in schools for a very long time. But I think with the shutdown of schools and the reopening of schools, children have to get used to how to manage their emotions again amongst their peers. Just seeing everyone for the first time after 2 years, having pretended to be someone else. You used to get bullied at school before the pandemic, and then you became a big celebrity online, and now you're back at school and you're being bullied. How do you deal with that?
Psychologist Dr. Patrice Charles explains that there has always been a competition among the streets and schools for children, and she believes during the 2-year period when schools were physically closed, the streets won some of the students. Hence, some students could not be located for virtual classes.
Many children were not online. They were in the streets, learning from gangs in the streets. And you put those kids back, they have no way of dealing with their problems. They didn't learn it. They have no way of dealing with their frustrations. They have no way of processing their insecurity. So what do? They just react in an emotional state.
The communities with frequent cases of gang violence, particularly inner city communities, also contribute to student violence. Althea Ramsey is a parent from a community plagued with violence. She believes it's where some students first get involved in violence before taking it into the schools.
My mother used to say, all the time people say, parents talk and picnic act. Picnic, we hear the parents talk. And I say, I like the boy and thing. And them take it up and them do it. It really do happen for true. Yes, or to when fight, people now run go party it. They must say, I say, who are better than who go beat who, and then them laugh about it. No, I don't do that. I go in the party, say, oh, yeah, you go some, I say, go to your mother, and some of them like. But then again, some of them parents, I told all them for blame because them just have the picnic and them just, them not, the whole time doing with everybody picnic a year one, that no day I saw again.
However, grade 4 teacher Trishana Hall-Brown does not believe the communities are the major factor.
It's not so more the environment. Students are emulators. They emulate behaviors seen. So I don't really think it's from necessarily the community, but it's really from maybe they see a one person behaving this way or a relative behaving such way, and they would want to emulate that behavior because to them it is something good.
She admits, though, that the Don-like behavior displayed by some students at the primary level is concerning.
Because we know that children oftentimes come into their own the older they get. And if they are displaying such character and behavior now, in the latter days of their lives, they may just put it into full effect.
In part 2, we'll look at tackling student violence from the root. Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
The Glengoff police have been relocated to the Above Rock station. The move to facilitate the rehabilitation of the Glengoff police station, which was badly in need of repairs. Restoration works had started on the building some time ago. However, last month, the repairs suddenly stopped. A TVJ News report in March highlighted the state of the building, which was being overrun by stray animals. Since then, work has resumed. But Councillor for the Mount Industry Division, Roger Curlew, has expressed disappointment about the lack of communication with residents about the relocation. He also laments that the distance from Glengoff and neighboring communities to the Above Rocks may also pose a challenge.
It is kind of sad that the police officers have been relocated to Above Rocks police station for some weeks. No community meeting was held, and I hope that the government will quickly complete working on the station so the officers can be back at the Glengoff police station, because as you know where Above Rocks is and where Glengoff is and the adjoining communities, the residents will not really get that sort of service with the police being relocated.
Still in St. Catherine, significant employment opportunities are in the pipeline for residents of St. Catherine, as approval has been granted for the construction of a business process outsourcing facility. O'Shane Masters reports.
Over the years, residents have complained about not having adequate opportunities for gainful employment in the country's old capital, Spanish Town. But speaking at a Chamber of Commerce and Industry meeting recently, Spanish Town's Mayor Norman Scott said more businesses are looking to set up shop in the parish, and so there will be more opportunities. He noted that all this is being done under the tax incentive program, which was introduced to Spanish Town during 2008. Under the tax incentive program, tax relief is offered to companies or individuals undertaking capital investments in either land or buildings. The program was formally launched to increase awareness and to stimulate the development of Spanish Town and its environs. As for the BPO facility, Mayor Scott said the old textile factory located in Angel Spanish Town will be the site for the operation.
Work has started on the site to retrofit and to do whatever it is for the construction. And from the words that I get from the developers is that they want by April of 2023 for that facility to be up and running.
When completed, some 2,500 people will be employed at the facility. In the meantime, Mr. Scott has blasted those who say the corporation has not been active in approving developments for the parish. He says it's not about the speed, but about getting the details correct to have smooth sailing.
Our building officers and engineers were in sync with their team, so that when the final drawings were done, all that was needed was for it to come for them to come and pay the money, and the thing just goes straight through. It is a kind of relationship that I'm encouraging with any kind of developer.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
And it's time now for a break, but stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to Midday News, and thanks for staying with us. And we go now to a look at the latest in the financial world. Here's Cody and Barrett with a Business Minute.
In the world of business, Jamaica's tourism industry continues to see a steady rebound. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says arrival for the quarter ended March were above 1 million.
Initial skittishness of January with the Omicron is now behind us. We're looking at closing the first quarter somewhere in the region of 1 million visitors stopping on cruise. That could bring us up to 1.5 billion.
And in business internationally, the International Monetary Fund has slashed its expectations for global economic growth over the next 2 years because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The IMF now expects the world economy to expand by 3.6% in both 2022 and 2023, a sharp deceleration from growth of 6.1% in 2021. The new forecast reflects downgrades of 0.8 and 0.2 percentage points, respectively, from its January forecast. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
Time now for a look at the top regional and international stories. Here's Stanley Williams.
In regional news, 16 days after the St. Vincent registered cargo vessel MV Fairchance capsized off the coast of Trinidad, the bodies of the last 3 crew members have been found. A statement issued by the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard said that the vessel, which capsized on April 2 en route to St. Vincent, had been refloated with the police and Coast Guard personnel boarding it via a hole cut in its deck over the Easter weekend and finding 3 bodies inside. 2 crew members were rescued, but the captain and 4 other members were not found. Last week, the body of 1 other person was recovered. On the international scene, in Afghanistan, at least 6 people are dead and dozens more injured following attacks on 2 schools in western Kabul Tuesday. The explosions happened in the Hazara neighborhood, home to a large community of Shia Muslims from Afghanistan's Hazara ethnic minority. Emergency, a group that offers free medical and surgical treatment to civilians, says 7 injured children were taken to the hospital. That specific region has been targeted in the past by Islamic State. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Sandy Williams.
And we head now to a quick break. When we return, we'll have your Midday Sports Report. Jordan Fort is standing by.
All right, welcome back now. It's time for the Midday Sports. I'm Jordan Fort. Double CARIFTA Games gold medalist Brianna Liston admitted that she had some concerns heading into the 200-meter final on yesterday's final day of the CARIFTA Games at the National Stadium in Kingston. Liston clocked a comfortable 23.16 seconds to win the event, but said she didn't feel 100%.
It's a great feeling, sir, knowing that the fans came out. So I think we didn't disappoint them either, sir. It's a great feeling to represent in front of home crowd.
All right, that was Brian Level. He was a triple gold medalist at the event. And Adija Hodge of the British Virgin Islands won the Austin Seeley Award for Most Outstanding Athlete, winning 3 individual gold medals. Meanwhile, Jamaica currently sits second in the standings at the CARIFTA Swim Championships in Barbados with 589.5 points. Bahamas currently lead the standings with 741 points. Up to the morning session of yesterday's second day, the Jamaicans had already tallied a total of 32 medals, comprising 7 gold, 13 silver and 12 bronze. The nation's 15 to 17 girls medley team was outstanding on day 2, breaking the national record in the event. The team of Leanna Wainwright, Mackenzie Headley, Sabrina Lynn and Morgan Kogel clocked 4 minutes 28.81 seconds to set a new national standard in the event. The championships continues this evening, with Jamaica having a number of finalists set to compete. Senna Somerville marked the return to circuit racing for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic with an impressive performance at the Radical Invasion race meet at Dover Raceway in St. Anne on Easter Monday. Now, Somerville upstaged reigning overall champion Kyle Gregg, winning 2 of the 3 races in the Thunder Sport class.
It's a very good day overall. I think we had it in the last race until we got a puncture in the left front, and thank God I held it when it punctured. But great day overall. I mean, I can't thank everyone enough for coming out. It's been great to be back after this COVID thing, and we're going to be ready for the next one.
Now, Greg, who gave credit to Somerville for his performance on the day, says there is more work to be done on his car.
Today was very interesting. Basically, I qualified 4th, so everybody was fast on me today. Still struggling with the setup of the car. Senna drove fantastic in race 1 and 2. I think the back marker in the last race made me get the advantage, but still put on a nice pass on him. But car needs some work. Definitely not as quick as the black one as yet, but time will tell. First race with the car, can't complain.
Now, it's as you were for former champions Arnett Gardens in the Jamaica Premier League standings after they were held to a 1-1 draw by Humberland at the Anthony Spaulding Sports Complex on Monday. Romeo Guthrie gave Arnett a 17th minute lead, but Andre Clennon levelled proceedings for Humberland in the 21st minute. The result means Arnett moved to 28 points, but stayed third, while Humberland remained 10th on 11 points. Earlier on the day, Malines United edged Montego Bay United 2-1, courtesy of goals from Jaheim Harris and Nicholas Nelson in the 8th and 39th minutes, respectively. O'Dane Nish got what turned out to be Mobay United's consolation in the 75th minute. With the win, Malines United are up to 14 points, one behind 8th-placed Tivoli Gardens on 15 points. Meanwhile, Mobay United are now winless in 11 matches and stay rooted at the foot of the table with 5 points from 14 games. And that's it for your Midday Sports. Anthony, it's back over to you.
Thank you very much, Jordan. And that's the Midday News. I'm Anthony Lugg. Join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the news, sports, and production teams, good afternoon.